lovelies, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy the next video. I hope you see something that you like, that you learn something that you want to try, or that you have questions that you would want to do the research and see if it's something you want to do. Alrighty, enjoy the video. Hello lovelies, I'm about to bling out a pouch, a fanny pack, whatever you want to call it. And this is the design that I have chosen. The inner part will be glitter HTV, and the scattered effect will definitely be rhinestones. And I'm using my Leonardo, I'm using my Romeo Cutter, the Leonardo Design Studio software. So this is my design. Okay, I'll be using the cutting mat. I'm gonna send my design to the cutter, and it should separate it for me. One part rhinestone and the other part will be the glitter heat transfer vinyl. So let's see what we got here. I'm trying to see what the measurements are to see. Move this up and over some. And then I will add me a weed box, an auto weed box. Okay, and that adds a weed box around it. And that will give me my measurements. Okay, so I can know how big of a piece of flock I need to cut. Okay, I'm putting my flock on the mat. And then I will take it over to the cutter. Okay, I loaded the mat from behind, and I have it button up to that line as well as to the front of the machine. And then I can come over here to the settings to make sure that I have rhinestone flock set, and my settings for that is 13 speed and 60 force. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the blade up to this left hand corner so I won't waste any flock. And I do that by touching the up and down arrow, and as you see, it is moving. So I need to get down low to make sure it's in the corner. I need to move it back. Some of you probably couldn't see it because of that light. Yeah, you probably can't see it because of that bright light, but I have it right in the corner. Right in the corner. So since this is not too big of a design, it shouldn't take that long to cut, but we'll see. I'll get it started by sending it to the cutter and agreeing to that statement, and it's calculating and it's starting to cut. And the Romeo and Juliet machines are really fast. So I'll bring you back when it's finished cutting, and we will weed the flock. You can see that circle that's going around, that's the timer. So it's probably about 3/4 of the way finished, and I think we're about 2 minutes in. So maybe another minute and a half. Okay, we're almost finished. And then once it's finished, it's cutting out the weed box. You see how fast it does that? Lickety quick. Okay, now let me pull it off the machine and we will start weeding. Okay, hopefully it weeds like butter. I forgot to clean my blade before I got started. So let me see. I got to go in real close because sometimes it's hard to see the cut line, the weed box. Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. I think we're missing a dot right there. But other than that, two so far. Let me check it over. Yep, that's it. It only missed 2 that I had to pull. Up 3. Alrighty. Let me cut this off. Save that. And use that for another small project, right? Alrighty, so now let me get my glitter HTV set up on the mat. And let me turn this around. You may not be able to see me load this in the machine because of that bright light. But anywho, I load it from the back. And I guess I could load it from the front and just push it back, but that's what I'm used to. And again, I'm going to get it right there to the corner. Okay, so I got it in position. Now I need to select the word. Okay, and I'm gonna move it up and over a little bit. That way that weed box can go around it correctly. And then I'm gonna also check mirror so that it can flip the design. Okay, that looks good. Now I need to change my settings on the machine, and I click on there, go to HTV, hit glitter, and load. And those are the settings for the HTV glitter. But what I also like to do in addition to that, to make sure I get a clean cut, I select cut passes right here. And I'm gonna take it up to 2. I don't know if you can see that because of the light. So it'll do 2 passes. And I will click on center cutter. I agree. Do I want 2 passes? Yes. Alrighty. And this shouldn't take any time at all. Because the word is not that big. But when it finished, before I pull it off the mat out the machine, I want to make sure that it is weedable. If I can find the weed box.
There it goes. Okay, looks good.
Even though it has pre-cut settings in the machine for all Caesar material, you still have to test it out, right? Because it depends on the age of your blade. So that's why I like to add that second pass so that it can give me that precision cut. Okay.
All right, let me get down close so I can get out the inside parts, and hopefully my head is not in the way. Sometimes it's hard to see all these nooks and crannies. Okay, I'm almost finished. Get my scissors.
They look much bigger on the screen, but the word has to be smaller so that it can make room for the scattered effect of the rhinestones, or it will be too big for the pouch. So that's the word. Let me find me a mat to put this on, and then we'll get started brushing in the rhinestones. Okay, I have my template on this mat, and I'm using red cyan rhinestones. Alrighty, let me clean up my mess and I'll be right back. Okay, I have cleaned up my mess and I've scanned over the design to make sure. Look like I missed another 2 more circles. Ugh. Ew. I'll get them from underneath after I pick up the transfer. Oh, there were several. 4 more.
See, I got to get down up close and personal because it's hard for me to see them stones. Okay, I need to add 3 more. As you see, it's hard for me to pick them up too. Okay. I think that is it. Get my transfer tape. No, it's not. There's another one up here. Let's try this again. Okay. Now I think I'm done. Okay. Just want to put this on top to make sure it fits in my opening. And it does. And it does. Okay. So I'm going to have to press the HTV first because the rhinestones are raised. And if I was to press the HTV after, it wouldn't get all the heat because the heat press wouldn't touch it because the rhinestones are raised. And they have to go at 2 different temperatures. The rhinestones are at 350 for 15 seconds, and I think the HTV is at 320. So what I probably do is tack this down first so this won't get too much heat. Okay, let me heat up my heat press. Okay, I put this on the heat press for 5 seconds to get out the moisture. Now I have to align it and see what we got going on here. And I also have to be mindful of the zipper and such. I want to make sure. Just let go of my finger. With my ruler. See what we got going on here. That's about 1/4 of an inch there. I think I need to move it over to the left a little bit. You know what? Let me clip this closer to the word. Okay. Now I'm thinking if I put that in the center, then everything else should work out right. So let's see what we got here. We got 2 inches on that side, 2 inches on that side, almost 2 inches there. Move it down a little bit. And that's what we're gonna go with. So I'm gonna put this on a heat press and I'll bring you back. Okay, I did this for 10 seconds to give me a tack down. Now let me put the rhinestones. It was easier to heat this on the heat press since this was in the middle. Most of this overhung off of the heat press. However, since this is taking up more space on the pouch, I have to be selective. I have to be more selective about, because it's touching up there and it's close to the zipper. So let's see how this goes. I'll show you once I get it over there. Okay, this is how it's situated on the heat press. I think I need to move this up some so that zipper won't be too much under the heat press. And I have this side off. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully none of my stones will shift. I'm waiting for the heat press to heat up to 350. So I'm going down and I'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, it was kind of touchy there. This side right here, these 2 stones didn't want to stick down. And I had to heat it 2 additional times. Hopefully it took. And it still didn't. They may not have, but it looked like it got glue on it. And I got one upside down. But it looks pretty nonetheless. I'll go in with my small press to do that. You really can't tell about them 2 that didn't stick there, but, or the one that was on upside down, since it's the scattered effect. But that looks pretty. I love it. Let me turn it, and hopefully I didn't melt the zipper. Let's see. Let's see. Nope. I guess it's a metal zipper as opposed to a quasi plastic zipper. But let me take you off the tripod and get you a little closer. Look at that. That is pretty. That is pretty. Alrighty, that's my tutorial for today. Bye-bye.